Good afternoon, everybody. This is Brian Dewhurst with the Uncommon Wealth Partners Market Update and Bitcoin Briefing for June 15th. The S&P 500 year to date is up 3.96. The NASDAQ is crushing it, up 12.21. Dow Jones just above even at 1.5. Gold is down. It's actually down big this week, down 1.86, and Bitcoin was down as well, negative 55 on the year. Let's jump into it. We said there was going to be a big week of data. I think it wasn't as big as everybody might have made it out to be, but the Fed hiked interest rates again, another 25 basis points or 1/4%. And they said to expect two more potential raises, later in the year. Powell continues to be pretty tight-lipped, short with his words, and very precise. So not as philosophical or ideological as a lot of the other Fed chairmen have been. He's pretty just to the point and brass tacks. So the other big change is that next year, starting in January, the Fed is going to hold a meeting after every time they meet, which right now it's every other time. So we'll get more transparency and communication from the Fed next year. What that did, it's pushing the 10-year Treasury and 2-year Treasury, we call it the spread, down towards zero. And historically, as you can kind of see, as that spread approaches zero, it can lead to recession. So it hit zero, led to recession, hit zero here in 2000, led to recession. And down here in the 90s, there was a little bit of a recession. And back in the 80s with interest rates all over the place as well, there was a little bit of a recession. So basically what it's saying is this could be positioning us towards another recession. And so there's a lot to follow. With that in the market, I added a new indicator. It kind of just shows you a short-term trend. The market is continuing to make gains. The market got back quite a bit this week, but it was down actually Friday. But we still have price above the short-term moving averages. We have our green dots, which is bullish, and we still have momentum in the market. So that looks still kind of normal. Then we have this gap here that we've always wanted to see. We still have price on top of the shorter-term moving averages, and that looks healthy. And our green bars in this indicator as well are still performing. So we're not seeing the signs of that effect yet. Gold was down big towards the end of the trading week, and so broke through 1,300 and it's down about $22 an ounce. So we'll see how this trend continues to emerge as it looks to try to break out over the long term. And highlight on Bitcoin, I wanted to show you the rebound of Bitcoin. So this was the high back in 2014, and I've talked about it taking almost 2 years to base and start a new uptrend. And what that kind of basing looked like here is price came down, and then kind of just flatlined, traded sideways, and we kind of broke through. And you see how this here, they're just kind of like steps, came down, step, flatlined, and then it was a step. And so if you kind of dissected this chart and you just drew a line straight here down the middle and you folded it over on itself, it would look pretty symmetrical, kind of like a bowl. And so we call this the left shoulder. This is the right shoulder. But you kind of see this bowl pattern here. And you could just cut this chart down the middle and it would be pretty symmetrical. I mean, not perfect, but you get the idea, right? And so now when I look at Bitcoin today, we had a nice kind of price rally here recently, and then it's gone down. We don't see that cupping or that bowl pattern, right? There's not that stair step out of the valley, so to speak. And we're potentially on the verge of making new lows. And so this was the most recent low in Bitcoin here when it broke down about 5,900. So we look like we're going to be testing that here within the next week or two. So definitely Bitcoin looks to continue its kind of bearish slide as it needs to gain support after such a massive run up. And there's just a lot of positive stuff happening in Bitcoin, but the price isn't seeing that. I think one of the things I talk about is, you have technology lead out. And, in the 2017 run up of Bitcoin, we saw Coinbase, registering 1 million people a day or something crazy like that. And all these exchanges exploding around the world. And And that was technology leading out, and then price followed, and price got ahead of itself and went too high. And now I think as we languish here and are establishing a new trading pattern, trying to regain footing, we're going to need to see technology advance. And we're going to need to see this blockchain actually start to develop products and solutions that are better than what we have today. A lot of its hype and a lot of its promises of what it can do tomorrow, but I think a lot of people want to see what it can do today. And obviously it does function more like money. The SEC came out this week and said Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities, which would lend them to be more of a currency type asset. And so in that, we need to see that is a use, I guess what I'm trying to say is that currency is a use, but now all the applications and how do we use that? How do corporations leverage that? And how is it, just better than money? And again, in a lot of areas of the world, Venezuela, Brazil is actually kind of unstable now, and a lot of the South American countries, some African countries for sure. So Bitcoin is better than a lot of currencies globally, but in terms of the steadiness of the dollar, we in America probably just don't see or feel that. So it's coming, but I think what I'm trying to say is that technology needs to advance. Now we need to see, wow, that's better, or that's cool, or that is the next big thing. And then I think you'll see price start to follow the technology like it did in 2015, 2016, and the run up in 2017. Technology and some of the applications of this stuff were really pushing the pace, and then price followed. And so I think that's what we're waiting for. I think we'll see a lot more of that over the summer. But that's all we got today. Again, if you want to know how your portfolios are doing, please reach out to us. And if you have any questions on your overall plan, we're here for you. We'd love to talk. And you can find us at uncommonwealth.com. And again, happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. As a fellow father, I know it's a special day for me and my family, and I just wish you guys the best, and I know Philip does too. So happy Father's Day to all you guys out there, and stay safe and have fun, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, everybody. Bye. The material in this video has no regard to the specific investment objectives, financial situations, or particular needs of any viewer. This video is presented solely for informational purposes and is not to be construed as a solicitation or an offer to buy or sell a security or any other related financial instruments. Nor should any of the content be taken as investment advice. Any of the opinions expressed in this video are subject to change without notice, and Uncommon Wealth Partners LLC is not under any obligation to update or keep current the information contained herein. Uncommon Wealth Partners LLC and its respected officers and associates or clients may have an interest in the securities or derivatives of any entities referred to in this material. Uncommon Wealth Partners does not accept any liability whatsoever for any loss or damage of any kind arising out of the use of all or any part of this material. We recommend that you consult with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision.